Tunde Adelakun joins us via Skype to indeed take a look at them. Some Nigerian players. He's always with the Super Eagles national team, indeed a scout with the national team. Tunde, let's take a look at the progress made so far in the calendar year 2021 by some Nigerian players. Starting with Iheanacho, how will you describe his form?
Well, Kelechi is a hard worker. He's a very talented, naturally gifted player. So his form, his goals don't come to us as a surprise. He has an eye for goal. He's very intelligent as a football player. I'm very happy that he's managed to come into his own and score the goals that he has done. A pride for everybody and a very good lesson for everybody not to give up.
Now, when we talk about the calendar year 2021, in England, it's been Kelechi Iheanacho. In Belgium, we've seen Paul Onwachu, and in his last two games for the Super Eagles, in fact, from his debut game and his last two games when he came on as a substitute, he has been awesome. This season so far, he scored no fewer than 30 goals. What does this mean for Gennett Roar, the attack line of the Super Eagles, and the country as a whole?
It's a very nice problem to have, I tell you. It's an interesting problem to have, to know that you have got players left, right, and center scoring goals all over the continent, all over Europe, and you know that you've only got to pick the best ones, and most of them fall into that category. It's been great for Paul. Paul Onwachu has always been another hard worker, very confident in himself and his ability. He shows it a lot in training all the time when he even had the drought in the national team. And it's also very refreshing to see that his club form came to translate itself into the last two goals in the last two games that we played. No surprise for us, because we knew what he had when we started calling him up. And it's great that he has justified that.
Some persons have talked about the likes of Victor Osimhen being the first choice anytime, any day for Gennett Roar at this point in time. But as we look forward to the World Cup qualifiers and also the Nations Cup tournament, you said this is a positive problem, for the Super Eagles. But by and large, if you consider what we have today on the table in terms of talent, today, how will you want to describe what Nigerians should expect from the team at the Nations Cup and in subsequent matches?
Well, what Nigeria should expect is what we've always offered and promised to give Nigeria, which is good playing football, good football, possession football, passes, crisp passing, short passes, and a very good flair for attacking. We are an attacking team. We attack very, very well. We are very solid defensively. We form our base around the defense and we go forward, making use of the talent and the ability that we have on the sides and in the middle to create goals. We expect to have learned from the mistakes of the past, some of the little frivolities that we committed that made us not progress to where we would have wanted to. We expect to have learned. That is more mental than ability. In terms of technical ability, we've got the players, we've got the talent. In terms of mental, we haven't got the experience, and we're gaining in experience every day, every tournament. Where we were at the World Cup 3 years ago is different from where we were at the AFCON 2 years ago. And we expect to have progressed from there and kept the solidarity, the harmony within the team together so that everything comes together, the natural gift, the talent, the physicality, and the mental comes together and gives good results and good performances for Nigerians to be happy about.
Well, you talked about where we were in 2018 from the World Cup, progressing to the Nations Cup, and how we should then be looking forward to the future. Now, when we talk about the future, today, can you confirm to us if there is a possibility of the national team having more talent or more players being invited? There have been talks about a particular Nigerian in the Italian Serie A. Good to know that you were with the team in 2018. He was also there in 2018 with the Super Eagles. Simi Nwankwo, who plays for Crotone Football Club. He has scored double figures, about 12 goals this season for Crotone, despite being last, in the league. Any possibility of Simi Nwankwo having a chance in the national team in the future?
The door has never been shut on anybody to make an entry into the national team. It is a hugely competitive position of the pitch. I received countless number of calls, and I'm not even the coach. The coach makes the final selection. I'm the scout, but I'm not the coach. So I give reports on everybody and everything that each player is doing. I give to the coach. He makes the final decision. Now, when you look at it, and I'm going to break it down very briefly for you, we've got a list of 23 that we cannot pick any more than 23 players at any time for our camp. That is two players per position on the pitch plus 3 goalkeepers.
Okay.
Now, Simi Nwankwo, Victor Osimhen, Paul Onuachu, Terem Murphy, Josh Maja, among others, are all centre forwards, and we can only pick 2 from those ones. It is highly competitive, very competitive. We see what Simi is doing. I watch Simi every week. I watch him, I speak to his people all the time. Same way as I watch Victor, and I watch Terem Murphy, and I watch Josh Maja, and I watch Paul Onuachu. I give my report. My report is the bumpiest when it comes to the strikers that we've got in the Super Eagles, because they can't stop scoring to save their lives, which is great. But unfortunately, we can only pick 2. Who knows who the 2 will be is Iheanacho. And what determines what he picks in them 2, I can't tell you. But the truth of the matter is that if we can have all 5 of them that I mentioned in the camp at the same time, we would. But who do we drop in order to pick the other? So it is a poser. It is a problem that I don't want to encounter. It's a problem for Iheanacho to deal with, and I hope he makes the right decision so that we can get the best from our players. But the door is not shut. Simi is doing well. He's going leaps and bounds, and I'm sure that the chance will come for him because he's worked with us before, and he's a very good player and a very good person as well.
We've talked about, how difficult it is to survive in the Premier League. And Kelechi Iheanacho, from his journey at Manchester City, now eating the headlines. Jamie Carragher, over the weekend, said it should be the future for the Foxes should Jamie Vardy decide to move on. And we've also seen Kelechi Iheanacho dot the I's and crossing the T's as far as a new contract with Leicester City is concerned. What message, do you have for Kelechi Iheanacho and other strikers in Europe at this time?
Not just strikers. The message that I send, that I give to all my players, and I'm in constant, regular, daily touch with over 50 of them on an average, the message is keep working hard, do what you have to do. You don't look in the direction of the negativity and the bad days that you have, because you are bound to have them. That's why the game is dynamic. It's football. We love the game because it's unpredictable, and sometimes it comes wrong to you as a person, and when it comes wrong to you, it is how to get your head down. I remember speaking to Kelechi just before we decamped him from the AFCON squad in 2019, and I said exactly the same thing to him. I said, you know what, you're going to come back stronger as long as you keep your self-belief. Know that you can do it and go for it. And he worked very hard. All credit to him. Some people were congratulating us for his form. We've got no part to play in it. He did the work himself. He deserves the credit. He deserves the accolade. And he's a lesson for a lot of the younger players who are struggling at the moment. We have some players in the Super Eagles ranks who are not fulfilling their full potential as they feel they should. And we're pointing them in the direction of Kelechi, saying, see what Kelechi has done for himself. You can do the same.
Indeed, I'm also very big. Thank you, Chief Scout of the Super Eagles, Tunde Adelakun, X-raying Nigerian players outside the shores of the country on the program this afternoon. And from us here, I wouldn't lie, Omodia, Shayo, we will continue to wish Iheanacho a positive headache with the performance of Nigerian players outside the shores of the country. Headache. No doubt, yes. Just like he said, selection headache, for the team.
It's a good problem.
And it's a good problem. But then